Tweed Talks. With your hosts, Pedro and Crystal Tweed. Tonight's guest, actress and martial arts master, Manu. Tweed Talks starts now.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to Tweed Talks. Here she is. I don't know if you guys saw on Facebook the photo of my wife going back to school. Actually going to work.
Get myself together here.
Yeah. She had a long day today. You know what I did today? I went to the gym. I had a private class. And then at a private class, I somehow messed up my days. I thought that today we started the gymnastics. And since I was already there, I decided to clean the gym.
Oh, is you scheduled the private class later?
No, the private class was at 12 o'clock. And it was his last private class because he's going to Spain.
Hi, Dee.
So the hello everyone that's watching. Come on in and say hello. So he's going to Spain. So most of the class today was in Spanish.
Oh, you were helping him learn Spanish. Okay.
Right.
Hey, Jane.
Hey Jane, how are you? This lady that we have on today, I've been watching some of her videos and watching some of the stuff on Facebook and social media. She's an amazing lady. As you know, here in this town, I was known for doing women's self-defense.
Okay.
I actually got a couple of awards for that, but I just when I started teaching and gymnastics, there was a teacher that said to one of my gymnasts, and I think I told you the story before. He said to one of my gymnasts, "No, you can't move the projector."
Right.
Because they used to have the projector on the bring it in. And the teacher said to her, and you know who I'm talking about, Andrea Ledina.
Yeah. Teacher
said to her, "No." And she said, "Why?" She said, "Because you're a girl." So that didn't sit well with my gymnast. I know this is 47 years ago. 47 years ago. Okay, and she was 10 years old, I think, something like that. Anyway, she came back and told me, and I said, you know what I want you to do? Go back and tell that teacher that you challenge all of the boys to push up.
Oh gosh.
So she came back a week later and said, "I moved the projector."
So it's bizarre because the projector is not even heavy. It was on a cart with
wheels.
A cart with wheels. Like all you had to do was push it.
But it's amazing how the time had changed because and actually all gymnasts are a lot to do with that because
that was a very sexist thought.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to be that way, but back then, a lot of people, no, girls are weak.
Jane's gonna be mad.
But
Jane is probably typing a comment right now in all caps.
So but those are the things back then. And back then, in all fairness, when I taught girls gymnastics, I still have to teach them how to run. I don't have to do that today.
I think we should though.
Well, we do for
I
gymnastic
think
purpose.
even more so now because everyone has such a sedentary. Well, I shouldn't say everyone, but
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about they used to run like this. They used to run like this. So no, you got to move those arms. So it was very funny how times have changed. Now you tell a girl to run, and and they run. And listen, I just want to congratulate you. You know how I feel about you. When I post something about you on Facebook, people think that you took over my Facebook page and posted it yourself.
that's so funny.
Like I posted, I am my wife's biggest fan, and somebody thought I was joking around. Someone thought I was joking around.
Hey, Daryl.
Hello, Daryl. How are you? Daryl, you are going to be amazed with this young lady.
While you guys are here, please make sure you hit that share out. I don't know what's going on with. I was in a lecture just before I came.
Yes.
A business lecture. So
She's a little bit out.
If you've taken a business course, before you're like pulling your hair.
Yeah. She's a little bit out. She's studying and talk about your new job a little bit. And because I know you gotta go.
So I started today as sports editor at the Sullivan County Democrat, but job wasn't even on my radar at all.
Mm-hmm.
At all. But things work out really strangely because I had posted that I had went back to school to get my bachelor's degree in sports broadcasting, and 2 days later, a job on Indeed pops up for sports editor for the local paper, and I'm like,
amazing.
Yeah. So within the hour after going to the interview, they wanted me to join the team, so I started today.
Yes.
Jane, thank you. I feel like I've been working all day because I have.
She has been working. She got up early this morning and.
Daryl said he's the second biggest fan.
Oh, he's the second biggest fan. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that comment. That was very cute.
Yeah. Me and Daryl go back a long way. But listen, we're going to move on. Go ahead. What were you going to say, huh?
I was going to say, we should.
We're going to move on because she got some things to do. And Jane, I know you know this young lady. So
thank you, Jane. I want to just go where Michelle is and do the interview there.
Well, we will see.
The studio is nice, but look, if you guys you'll see when Michelle comes in.
Listen, I gotta tell you, there was that thing that they did, whether you got $8 or $2 or whatever, right? And I got $7.
Oh, yeah.
So that means there's certain places I haven't gone, and that was one of the questions.
Hawaii.
Yeah, that's right. So,
hey, Angelica.
So
it's one of Jane's best. Of course, she's one of Jane's best.
Of course she is. Everybody said besties, though. She's an awesome lady. So what we're going to do is we are going to go into a video. I had to cut it down a little bit, so we could have more time to talk with her. And then right after that, we're going to have her on. And you're going to do the introduction as you always do.
While you guys are here, just when we play this video, just make sure you hit that share arrow and share this video on your page.
Okay, so here we go.
That's all you ever want to do is go eat. That's fine. Let's go eat. I'm hungry.
These old deceits don't work. What else do you have? Silver bullets and hawthorn daggers?
I'm not here for your lecture.
You sure can.
Let him go.
Jason.
Can I buy you a drink?
Do you see what just happened to all these guys?
You were in my dreams.
All day, man. Y'all don't want to do this. Oh, shit. Won't you go ahead and drive?
I haven't seen you this tense since the riots. Usually you're Mr. Cool.
Just got this.
If you don't know how to fight in heels, you don't know how to fight. We're going to welcome Michelle Manu to Tweed Talks. Let's bring her in.
Hello. And okay, let me see your.
How's that?
Oh, there you go.
I apologize.
That's okay.
Now you have to repeat what you said.
Well, I can't help but laugh, and I know some people are like, "Oh my goodness!" Others like, "Goodness gracious, what's going on?" But I just when I don't get to watch that very often, and when I do, I just recount all of the learnings that I've had on each production. So, thank you for having me.
Thank you for agreeing to come on the show. I wanted to have you on for a while, and this month we've been doing a martial artist, specifically women.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and then we're gonna. Daryl like, of course he did. And we have your friend Jane watching as well. I was really wanted to know where you started. I know you started very young.
I started when I was 9 years old. Yeah, so that's literally 40 years ago. Yeah, so I started off and there weren't really many girls in martial arts at that time. So it's wonderful now. People demonize social media, but I think it's amazing because we get to see all these master level women of their respective arts. I always kind of knew that we existed, just didn't know of each other. And now we learn more and more about women that have been studying their entire life in their specific art and science, because not just art, what we do. It's just remarkable to cheer them on and provide support when needed. And we suffer from the same things. We also elate in the same things. So it's definitely a beautiful path for all of us that stay dedicated to it. Yeah.
And did you make a decision to go into it, or your parents influenced you?
My parents, yes.
Your parents.
It wasn't my choice.
I feel like that's almost not a given, but it's almost a given for most people who train at such a high level, because you have like Nastia Lukin, for example, the Olympic gymnast. Her father was an Olympic gymnast, and he was her coach. So that's sort of like a given when you have people that train at such a high level. When they have children, they want their child to have that same discipline.
Betty Okino. Yeah, her parents, took her. Their parents used to be dancers, and then she became a great Olympian. So I know how that goes. Now, so then, how long did it take you to fall in love with it?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Oh, I love that.
Literally 10 minutes. So they opened class. They were speaking terms I wasn't familiar with. And, you have this gi on, look like pajamas, and you go out there and all of a sudden I just, I don't understand what they're saying. But then I started moving and I was like, oh my gosh, this isn't a boys' activity. This is actually, I've been a dancer my whole life because that's what we're exposed to as girls. It was a girl activity. And I always thought, even up until recently, that it was like a detriment to us. It really didn't help us. But what I realized, it was such an advantage as for our footwork and timing and weight distribution, even just foot, placement of your foot. So yeah, it was within 10 minutes. I'm like, I kind of like this, and I was okay at it. And so that's how I got hooked. And I didn't really realize that it was going to be a pivotal moment in my life, when I was 9. I was just doing what I was told.
Oh, okay. That's good because today kids don't do what they told.
True.
And that is my mission, to change that, to bring it back to where because a lot of the kids that we know, a lot of the good martial artists are people that listen to their parents. So hey, Jerry G is watching as well.
Daryl said the same thing when watching the clip that I said when I was watching the clip. I said, except I didn't say he looked like Chuck Norris. I said he looked like a bootleg Chuck Norris.
Yeah, that's Rob Davidson. Yeah.
But he looked so much like, I was like, I had to do like a double take for a second.
Yep.
It could be.
You know who you reminded me of watching you in Do Your Thing, Michelle, is does anyone know who Charlotte Lewis is? She's the actress from The Golden Child. She played alongside Eddie Murphy in The Golden Child.
Oh wow, no, I'll have to look her up.
She she played, the character's name was Keenang, but that's who you reminded me of.
Really? Wow.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Because she had several fight scenes
yes.
in The Golden Child.
And guess who I
Jane.
Aloha, Jane.
Now,
My sister
how
right
do we
there.
address you? Because the martial art that you do, I'm not familiar with it, but a lot of the hands, because I did Wing Chun, but a lot of the hands are kind of similar. What is the name of the style that you do? It's a Hawaiian style.
Yeah. So ancient is Kui a Lua, and modern is, we just call it Lua, Lua. I think if you were to look at the ancient style of hula, kahiko, and you turn that into contact and enableize that, immobilize it, operationalize it, that's what our art looks like. It's based off of nature elements as well as animals. So
like
yeah,
Kung yes.
Wow. What exactly does Kumu translate to?
Well, in the English version, it just means teacher. So a lot of people just call themselves a kumu, or what's the equivalent to sensei in Hawaiian is kumu, but it's actually much more than that. It's usually bestowed by someone that has trained you, and with that comes kuleana, or responsibility for the knowledge that you hold. So commonly, an analogy would be used where the kumu is the trunk and the branches are the students, or the haumana that grow from the trunk. There's also a kia'i, or protective guardian sense of the information to protect it as well, to keep it safe from people that lack integrity and want to misuse it or monetize it. So this is why you don't see very many. There is one that I'm aware of, but where it's a storefront, where you just come in, you buy a uniform, and you just get started. There's, like with my group, there's an application process. So to make sure that you're someone that can be trusted with this information, and you're not going to disrespect it. It's something of the ancient people and was passed. So important to keep it that way. Yeah.
That is beautiful.
So it's passed down. And
Yes.
you are the highest rated woman on this style now.
So far, yes, but there are many in training, and it's an honor to stand here and respectfully represent all of us now that are training, the culture as a whole, as well as our foremothers and that new Lua. So very, very important. And it's, some will say, oh my gosh, that's so heavy to carry. It's actually not, because I just get to share with those that I deem worthy, as well as how much and what and when. So it's actually not that heavy of a burden to carry. It's quite wonderful, but it does keep me on the narrow path. I'm responsible, and I have to, make sure that I conduct myself properly. Yeah.
Yeah,
It sounds like you, like it's a part of you, like you absolutely love it. Like I can feel that when you're talking about it.
There's no separation. There's no way that, I think if someone was to say, if you could no longer move in your Lua, if you could no longer teach your Lua, I probably wouldn't be able to live very well. There's no separation for me. I am Lua. I am the representative, of the, from the very beginning to now. And it's important. Yeah.
I think that I know some people won't understand this, or maybe they all understand, but that the spirit when you're teaching shows. Just your face, and I saw I was
Mine or just people that teach?
not you
Mine.
but people that teach should have that. They should have that, because the spirit when you're teaching, the love that you have for it shows. You can't fake that. Some people do. Some people do fake it for money, whatever, But when you're teaching, I saw a couple of the videos, and I saw the love that you're bringing. You cannot make anything move without love. It's very spiritual when you do it. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to put that out there.
You can see the dichotomy, though. You're talking of love, and I'm talking of dislocation, taking someone out so I can get to the next person. It's very much love. It's up to me. It's like the ultimate matriarchal expression of mana or power, because we are protectors. I don't care if you've forgotten. As a woman, I don't care if you've really never connected with that, or you're scared of what we would deem as masculine energy today. It's actually very matriarchal, because we will die protecting what we have deemed worthy to protect. And most times it's not ourselves. Most times it's others or land. In ancient times, water, our sacred water. So it's protecting those things, and we will die for it if we choose to. So I think it's not patriarchal. It's not coup, if you will. I think it's very Hina, very feminine to step into this protector energy. So it is love, but in a very interesting expression of it.
Well, let's talk about that dichotomy you referred to, because you also teach self-protection.
Yes.
To people that are in high-risk environments, pilots and flight attendants and things like that. So I think that's very important too, because you were talking about how you you teaching self-defense and things like that. And how important is that to you?
Oh, extremely important. If I'm not here for anything, is to show that women can do this. And I shouldn't have to. I always say to my students, if I were mute, what would my body say? What would my life say? What would my actions say? I mean, Dr. Hawkins, who's a metaphysician, would say that, your life is a prayer. What does your life say about you? This is huge if you really embody that and take it in and say, is there any truth to this? So it's extremely important. I mean, I help men as well, and young boys. Young boys are also targets, and they do get bullied at school. But, first and foremost, my call is for the women, and I never intended it to be like this, but it is, whether it's professional or just everyday moms in their minivans. Now they drive SUVs, but it's a terrible thing to put that broad brush against everyone. But regular everyday women that are protecting their family and caring for them, they need to know also, and to stay aware. So if I can do it, any woman can. I think they just need to believe, and that's the key ingredient for women, because we are warriors, we're not soldiers. As a warrior, we ask why, and we need to know why we're doing something. Then we believe, and then all the mana comes and follows it. Whereas men, they start moving in the techniques, and then they start to believe it, and then their fitness comes. It's opposite for women. We have to believe first that we will survive.
Right.
Whether it's strangulation, suffocation, bat, crowbar, knife, gun, it doesn't matter. That we will survive, and we'll do anything we can to survive and try to make it home safely. So yeah, it's very, very important to me.
Amen to that.
I think also, to add to that, I wanted to change the verbiage too, not self-defense. Why we need to be on the offense. So it's protection. So it's self-offense. If you really think about it, why should we be reactive? We should be proactive. And then also changing warrior to protector. I think it means something to women. Men are all about being warriors, because they're the rulers of the physical domain. But, feminine includes not just physical, but also the non-physical. And so the warrior aspect, the protector aspect, needs to be talked with. It's not something that we should shy away from, because we've had a poor encounter with a man or several men in our youth, or even as young adults, that we also harbor that same energy and can use it, and not just in protection, but in our life, for goals, for relationships, for using that fire element, and then the water element, and the earth element, and the wind, the air. All of these things are available to us to use. And that's part of the protection aspect. There's, psychological self-defense as well, self-protection. There's financial self-protection. All self-protection goes into so many other realms, not just physical. So I think us as women protectors,
Mm-hmm.
extremely important. To even say what, if she's like, she's a kook, she's nuts. Listen to her talk about this stuff. But you know what? I just encourage everyone to take a moment. And even if you're a man, and say, what if there's just an ounce of truth in this? What does that mean for me? So that's where I try to challenge others to come outside of the box of what we're fed socially, familial, from our families, and even nationally in the U.S. Like, what do we believe about ourselves? Where are our limits? Can I survive? And once we start questioning that, we start to really feel that mana in us, that like it's undeniable that you're not made incorrectly, that you're made exactly how you're supposed to be right now. Start to embrace it and use it. And men included, because men are told they need to, do only certain things. Well, what if you're beyond that? You're beyond a provider, protector. Is that really your role? You're more than that. You have feelings, you have needs, and I think it's healthy linking up with healthy, that really, like both of you, power couples, where you're an example. You're not talking at people, you're talking with people about potential, powerful relationships, so that we can enjoy our time here too, So yeah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
No,
No.
not at all.
We love it. You love it.
So Daryl has a question. Is the self-protection you teach more physical or emotional, or a combination of both? That's a great question, Daryl.
It's a combination.
Mhm.
When I'm with women for a workshop and I've got 2 hours, there's not much that I can really go over emotionally, except for we start very emotional. We get into our intention, then we work the physical, which then again, they gain more confidence. Once they see the knife, the trainer coming at them like 10 times, it's no brainer anymore. When initially they freeze up and they're filled with anxiety. And then we end with affirmations. Who are we? What are we going to take control over? It's not your fault. Are you going to give up? It's not over till it's over. And we go over all of it before we end. So it's hard on a 2-hour workshop to really get into it, but we get into both.
Awesome.
So you also teach self-protection to university students.
Yes.
I know it. So are you going to the university and teaching like a class with several students, or is it more private instruction?
It's both, actually, Crystal. So sometimes, like I was teaching at UCLA, that was wonderful. I haven't been back in like 9 months. University of Zurich, Switzerland, that was remarkable. But I also have parents that reach out and say, my daughter is going off to college. Please, can we schedule a private lesson? And so I'll schedule a private lesson. I either fly there or they fly here, and I work with them. And we go over everything from safety in the car to walking, elevator safety, grocery store. It's funny, because I think we all, myself included, we go to the same places over and over again. It's always a safe environment. We in and out, grocery shopping, post office, whatever it may be. But it takes only one time for us to not be aware and something might happen. So it's going over the awareness. We can really de-escalate a lot, most all of it, if we're aware, before it gets to a point where we have to physically engage. Yeah.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Oh boy.
We were talking about being aware of our surroundings, because and most of our guests that are watching now, they know that over the past few years there have been specific communities that have been targeted. People, the Asians, Chinese. I mean, it didn't really even matter. They would just being attacked in the street. We also, not quite locally, but there were a time where Jews were being attacked quite recently over the past couple of years. So we had talked about that several times, and the importance of being aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
Jane says we cannot be complacent. No, Jane, we cannot.
Did I see Jane? I saw Jane in one of your videos, I believe.
Yes. Jane and I are close. She's my sister, and I love her very much. Yes.
We love her a lot too. We see her more.
Thank you, Jerry. I think Jerry might be facing you, the both of you. So I know when we go into a restaurant, just to continue on the, thinking about self-protection and things like that. When we go into a restaurant, you don't want to sit with your back to the door. If there's just that main entrance, you want to sit facing the other way. So I think that's from your years of training.
For my training.
Michelle, are you that way too?
No, I'm not. I won't. I'll position myself and listen. It's also training yourself to listen to other conversations while you're in a conversation. I will, unless there's a picture or something that's behind the individual that's facing the door, so I can see in reflections. And sometimes that works even better for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Take care.
Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah. Jerry, thank you for popping in.
Yeah, we got to have dinner with that guy.
So, Michelle, you have toured as sorry.
Yeah, a Polynesian performer. They're absolutely right.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so I was young too, learned a lot there as well, as you can imagine. So I toured the Midwest from 90 to 97, and then I flew back for about 5 years after that to fill in for very busy weekends. And so my record is 11 shows in one, sorry. Alika Mai. Hi, Douglas. Okay. 11 shows in 1 week. So it was a lot. And I was at the gym a lot just to keep up my stamina. It's not just slapping on a costume and doing it. I was trying to obviously show great technique even within the hula and Maori. So I was able to do that as well, and Tahitian. So yeah, it was great. Great experience. I was very young, but I went from coming from a very strict kumu where I was not allowed off my knees on the floor. I had to do everything upper body, and do that, to where now I'm on stage, I'm on my feet, and I'm performing. And so I learned a lot there as well. Getting the lower body, like in Lua, the lower body is the man or the kane and the father. And then from the waist up is the mother, the wahine. So very important to get both of them talking. And so I started doing that, at 15. And so it was very interesting. I enjoyed it. I couldn't do that again. I'm not really great on fake smiling anymore. But, it was a good experience for me.
It starts to hurt after a while.
This is also interesting.
Yeah.
Now, and also the weapons, like this one right here.
Wow.
Yes, the Leo Mano.
And you make those, right?
Yes. That one my teacher made.
That's amazing.
I wanted to showcase the piece. Yep, there we go. In my glory. I have that one upstairs. Yes. So I prefer tiger shark teeth. That's what I prefer. But we do use great white. Yeah, great white from time to time. But the tiger shark teeth look really clean, which I love. That's beautiful.
I want to ask you, what did this guy do to you?
That was a private lesson. He came in from Philadelphia. So
never mind. Now I know.
And that's from 52 Masters with William Christopher Ford, Sensei, who's got a really wonderful show. I think that he's concluding. They did an episode on Lua. So he's using the pahoa there. It's a single-edged dagger. It's a beautiful weapon too. Yeah.
Now you mentioned in one of your posts I saw, and you were explaining about how Hawaiian do the nose thing.
Oh, honey, yeah.
Money score?
It's a honey, so it's a kiss. So it's nose. Yep, exactly. Nose to nose and forehead to forehead. It's where you exchange breath. So you inhale he, feminine, exhale ha, and that's the breath that you're.
And you simultaneously.
Yeah, simultaneously.
So how do you do that? Because I want to practice with my wife tonight.
Okay. So it is helpful if you're touching, if it's a romantic thing, so you can feel the lungs expand and then shrink. So, yeah.
Yes, that's awesome.
Good. Do it. Send me a picture. Crystal. I love it.
Gosh.
And this thing, look here, like,
our paddle. Yeah. People make fun of this that are not aware of our culture, like they make fun of everything, but oh yeah, let me just pull that out of my purse. No, it's for seafaring warriors. You're not going to find the Mauna mountain warriors holding a paddle, so I mean, Hawaii is so vast. It's got so many different weather systems, and the weather is very turbulent there, and so is the ground. Could be very, very like where it's not supported, and you could fall off of a cliff, and it looks like, the greenery comes up, and you don't know that there's a 50+ foot drop. And
Oh,
then there's also the jagged rocks and sharp rocks. And so, you wouldn't use a bow and arrow up at the top of the mountain where there's a lot of
Mhm.
wind. You would use more of the ma'a, the slingshot with the rock. So, each weapon obviously was utility before it was a weapon, and that it's specialized per district and the actual expertise of each type of warrior.
Hmm. How
Yeah.
heavy is that?
It's pretty heavy. It depends on the wood that you make.
I feel
You
that.
use it. Yeah, I love it because it's actually a really devastating weapon, believe it or not, more so than a smaller one. It picks up momentum as you move with it. And I think once you become part of the weapon, like you become part of every weapon that you hold, it
Right.
automatically, your mana is transferring straight into that, and you're extending your limbs. And that's the
Mhm.
way we view it versus just holding something, like
Right. An
it's not
extension
just
on.
the kids. Yeah, these are the kids, these are the grandkids. It's not just the kids. It's the whole body moving and taking, that circular feminine energy into a masculine straight energy. So it's really quite a beautiful, beautiful weapon. It's one of I have many favorites. They've all been my favorite at one time, but yeah, I really do love the paddle. And I
I
have
would.
one upstairs with 80 sharp teeth on it. So you have
Wow.
40 down one blade and 40 down the other side, and they're east-west, so that you don't have to slice the same way. You can slice going in and tear on the way out. So, because it's
Mhm.
the backside of the teeth, I know, Crystal. So it's just beautiful. Absolutely. And that's been christened in the water plenty of times. So just
wow.
gorgeous. Yeah.
I would not have assumed it was so heavy. You said you
Yeah.
you knew
Yeah.
that. I'm like,
It's pretty
oh, it doesn't.
heavy.
But
Yeah. So it must be a good workout using that. I saw
Yeah, it
you running.
is.
I saw you running and correcting one of the guys.
I guess it's
Yeah.
not hollow.
No. It's
Wow.
solid, yeah. It just
That,
depends because like there's the hardwood that we prefer, and that's very difficult, but not if you master it. So,
Hi, Robert.
hmm
Do you
hi
know Robert?
Robert.
Oh,
Yes, I love him.
yeah. He's a great guy. We had him on the show before.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's Jane? Come at the kids with that and watch them run. Cover them.
Yeah, it's a big ping pong paddle.
So, so that's like what we call chancleta. You know what chancleta is?
No.
It's what my Dominican mother. It would be something like this.
Oh, yes. The infamous slipper. Well, you're forgetting about the other end. That's used as a spear and, as a short bow. So it's not just the
Mhm.
blade of the hoe. You've got other weapons that's also worked into that as well. Very devastating. Yeah, and our short bow, our ko'o pakole. This is like any other short bow of any other system, and that's beautiful. So working that and then just adding the blade, knowing if it's horizontal or vertical, you can do a lot of damage. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I meant to ask about the drawing you have on your back.
Yes.
I
So
didn't.
yes, it's an EO. So it's a hawk. It's the highest flying bird of the islands of Hawaii. It signifies the divine feminine, but within it is the responsibilities. Each feather um, has our process of creation, which can be quite violent, as you know. So there's the impregnation. So thought of an idea, a vision, or something that's been downloaded to you. Then there's the impregnation of it, and then you've got the actual nurturing of that and the growing of that, and then you have the labor portion, you have the birthing, and then the process to death, and then the starting over of the cycle. So
Oh,
each feather has a different meaning here, and you'll see some water elements in there as well. So most all of the elements are also contained in the marking. Yeah.
wow.
That is beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And no one
You,
really sees it, except for when I expose it. So it's not terribly. I had a meeting today at the office, and it's very hot here, so I wore just a little bit of the wing was sticking out. I'm okay with that. I don't know about other markings where
Okay.
It would impede my ability for those lacking understanding of the social the cultural aspect of it. We live in a Western world, and I still need to use my degrees and be effective there. So it's better for me to keep. It's for me anyway. It's not for the world.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You're a lawyer.
Yes, I work in law. So.
Make sure that I call you if I get in trouble.
Well, I don't do criminal, so I'd have to pass you along. But yeah, I'm
Well,
grateful for my education and experience.
Listen, all I have to do, if I hire you as a lawyer, and then I have the opposing lawyer, I won't even let you, go and do your summation. I just show the video of you. Listen, you don't want to mess.
It's actually backfired on me in a mediation. I was in a family mediation representing the husband, and the attorney for the wife, our clients walked out to use the restroom, and we had to time it, let her go first, and then 30 seconds later he's going to go, so they'd have no contact. And as my client left the room, the attorney turned to me and said, I expected you, he goes, I didn't expect you to be so professional. And I said, I don't understand. What are you trying to say? I said, did you, and then I realized, he obviously did research, saw my real public life, because I try to keep it quiet. And I said, what did you expect, that I would show up with my black belt on? And then I got up and I went to the restroom. So it's just, it's funny, in America, a lot of people can't see women. They can see men just fine, but they cannot see women being multifaceted. We are one thing and that's it. So me being a black belt and a proficient one somehow lessened my ability to be an effective mediator. And that's absolute crap. So it's nice to come back with a zinger once in a while when someone does say, well, you're a dumb black belt. You're more engaged in the physical, so you have no brains. No, everyone, we are brains, brawn, and beauty all rolled into one. We get to decide which one we want to operate in, and what we activate, what we deactivate, and let sleep when we need it. And so it's really fascinating, mostly my professional life, I can't have a LinkedIn, because then people that see martial arts that want to get to have discussions and things like that, or painfully are stalkers, or worse, predators. I don't need them finding my job. Without that, though, if I was just solely a teacher of Lua and had a storefront or had many, many students, then I think I would lose the love for it. I'm able to take then my personal income and put it into the trainings and the needs of my school and my students. So it's worked out quite well. I wouldn't change it. Just because I still work a regular job doesn't mean I'm unsuccessful in my kuleana as a kumu. I think it actually makes me even more successful, because it's not where I'm looking to make a dollar. And so therefore my teachings and my protocol, my rules for studying do not get altered in any way, because I need to pay my rent, so it's good. Yeah.
I agree. And I think it's so important to share that, because like you said,
thank you.
A lot of times men, or even women, they can't see past you. They only see you as one thing and one thing only. You can't possibly be something else. It was very
family too, Crystal. Family will do that to you too. They're some of the worst, where they stick you in one spot. You can, and it's like 20 years ago. You're not. They don't even see you in your fullness now, as as you've evolved. It's just crazy to me. They keep you in that role. So yeah.
And if you see something you like, you don't have to stay the same. You can continue to grow and continue to try new things. And I just think that makes you
you're doing that now.
Person. Yeah,
you're doing that now. Last week you were doing something else, and now you're doing something else.
And because you find enjoyment in it.
Because you can.
Or you don't. You stop and you decide you want to try something else.
Yeah, that's right.
You always have to do what you feel is right for you. No matter how many things that is.
You also believe, like me, I teach a Tai Chi class, and then, you believe that everything is energy, which I believe as well. And I get questions on that, like, what do you mean you don't see it. And I said, but you feel it. So I told the guy one time, and I said, but you don't see anything. I said, I want you to go outside. And he went outside, and I took my remote control from my key. I went beep, and then he came back and said, what was that about? I said, I used this little key right here to make that sound in my car and went right through the wall. Now tell me, what energy did you see transferring from the car to my key? He said, oh, I understand.
You don't have to
That's a good example. What I like to use is water. I think it's truly the only thing as far as a substance on earth that can show the energy mana as it's being affected by it. I think it's magnificent. Because we can hear the wind, we can see the wind, how it affects things, but water, you can really just see everything.
Dale's got a great comment. It's unfortunate that society makes you separate those accomplishments when in reality they are amazing compliments of each other.
That's right.
Oh, thank you, Daryl.
That was awesome. And he's the yin yang.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to separate the body and the mind, but in reality, I don't like to say body and mind. I like to say body mind. If you don't mind.
Well, on that note, scientists are coming out saying that that's not really the mind. The mind is actually within the fascia.
Right.
So it's within the body. So is that true? Could that be true? And then we need to start treating ourselves appropriately if that's true.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had to pick a topic as far as trends are concerned for homework. And when you just said that, it goes right into the trend that I picked. It's called sports mindfulness. So mindfulness within sports and how people it's not a fad, it's a trend. Now people are getting more into, even people in the sports community, they're trying to find mindfulness and so thank you. That was just confirmation that I picked the right topic.
So good. That'll be really great because there's a lot of new findings out there, and that really geeks me out. I'm always like, oh, is it really in the fascia, or is it really where we're storing all our trauma? Like, what can we do for our fascia? What is the fascia composed of? How does it need to move? Are there people that work out there, practitioners that can loosen the fascia? It's not about just muscle massages anymore. It's about what zip locks over the muscles. The muscle's fine, so like beating it to hell is not going to help release the fascia. So it's really interesting if you think about it.
My teacher often used to talk about it, and he said everything in America moves fast, but he used to talk about the fascia a lot, and used to use the bacon as an example. You see the bacon, you see the white, this and
okay,
that way, yeah. So and Dr. Yang Yemin, that was my teacher. But he used to talk about that a lot. And he said, you'll see that people are going to be talking about this years from now. And it's been years since I went.
And they're talking about it. Yep.
Right.
In 2024 and beyond.
He said if it's good, it will move faster. If it's good.
Yeah, more sliding versus getting stuck, right? Or gripping. Yeah.
Right.
Love that. So Michelle, tell us what you have coming up. You are heavily involved in acting and action films and things like that. What do you have coming up?
That I can talk about. I haven't signed anything yet, but I got a call probably about 2 months ago for a very, very large film in January. I will be not a lead, but I will definitely be in a supporting role if it happens, and I'm really excited about that. We'll see. So that has fighting in it, obviously.
Would that potentially film somewhere warm?
Yeah, it's going to be in LA. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that should be fine. Most of my scenes -1 are inside, so it shouldn't be too bad. Of course, you need to control. Like I'm outside because there's not much noise right now, but all that ambient noise when you're filming, they like to just keep us inside most of the time. But my book should be released soon. It is the archetype of the woman protector. What I did was I took all these male archetypes, of course, so the warrior hero, the sage, and the magician, and I combined them. I made it female, and I kind of dissected it. And I made a case for martial arts and movement as medicine, and I went through the metaphysical science and chaos theory, mathematics of what it means to be a woman protector. So it's got science and also art in it. I also cross-reference not just the Hawaiian culture and our belief system in mana or energy, but also Asian. So I speak of other arts and how they see things and how we just need to move is because it is medicine for our spirit. Also our body. We get to, when you're in movement, you get through all the blocks. When we sit here and think about it the Western way, we just get more blocked. So when you start to move and you match where you're at, if you're depressed, if you're sullen, if you're hurt, you're trying to figure something out, then maybe a light goddess walk, or maybe a light boxing session, light body weight exercises, maybe some nice hula, not real vigorous, then that's good. You get to move through that, you know. And then taking it to the other extreme where you're really pissed off, you're confused, something's not resolved, and you just can't let go. Get into movement for 3 minutes, 7 minutes, and before you know it, you'll have clarity of mind because now the body has released it. So heavyweight, you know, go crazy on the heavy bag, things that require sprint, all these things that require you to gas yourself out will actually get rid of that energy so you can have clarity of your mind. Not mine. So, and that's my theory here. Yeah, that's my theory. So I've come up with some actually 40 workouts based on emotions and based on anatomy. They're only 5 to 7 minutes. And if you work, you know, my neck's hurting. Well, what does neck mean in metaphysically if you haven't had an injury? Because most likely there's something non-physical that is being, you know, affected there. What does it mean metaphysically? Okay, so you had a little injury, you slept wacky, like most of us do, and it's just a workout for the neck to stretch and strengthen. But I have it for the whole body. So especially grieving is a big one where we need to let go and find completion where you can't actually have closure. And so this is knowing that there's a difference there. It's like you never feel you've really tied up the circle, tied the knot, or burned it, or let it go out with the water. You're still somehow holding it within you. Then you can actually find completion through these movements. So very indigenous way of thinking. But yeah, so that's something I've been working on for a while. So I look forward to the book finally being released eventually. And then I finished my dissertation the end of this year, and that's called The Butterfly Effect. So I take again the meteorologist Lorenz way of looking at a small, seemingly insignificant event that happens here with trajectory of a massive effect over here, and that is everything we do. So I tried to bring the meteorology into psychology with metaphysical and with movement again tied to that, and making transformation a practice, not just a one and done thing and have a shamanic death and then you're new. We are constantly being rebirthed as we enlarge ourselves, as we take in more and the more we give out. So it's become almost not a religion, but it's the old religion of the indigenous peoples, regardless of their nation and tribe. You could see that they were ever evolving, and they were using evolution of themselves as a practice. That was a religion. So trying to call us back to that, to understand it's okay to shift gears. It's okay to embrace something new. It's okay to fail. There's no such thing. And that, why are you having this experience? Because this is what you're being given right now. If you follow the path and what reads, like Crystal, when you said that, you know, you immediately saw a job posting and then you applied and then you had the job an hour afterwards, it was placed there for you to do something with it. You could have said, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready for this. But here it goes, dropped right there. It says, do something with me. And you're like, oh, okay, you did it. And look at, so clearly you're exactly where you should need to be. Instead of us breaking windows and busting through doors, look at the low hanging fruit that's right before you and say, okay, apparently I don't want to do this. But then you do it and you're like, oh, I actually do, and I was supposed to do this. And so it's just cooperating with yourself. Go figure, stop throwing up the resistance. Yeah. And just look at what is waiting for you. What has been trying to get your attention? And that's where you go. So I think it's just being able to speak about these things openly and with others. And they're like, you know what? There's no harm in me trying. I'm not going to be fearful anymore. I'm just going to go for it. And even if it is the less than desired experience or outcome, you learn something from it. So like Jim Carrey says, life's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And if we can look at life that way, it changes things. And I always say, like, you have a deck of cards and none of the cards have any value whatsoever until you know the game. So keep those cards, keep those tools, and when it's time, use those cards those tools that you need. So yeah, it's been wonderful. I don't have anything else other than that in media. I was supposed to be in well, it's already up on Amazon, but I've asked them to take it down because the blurb is not correct. They sensationalized me and I don't like it. I think sometimes we don't need to be sensationalized to share a message. We can just merely talk about who we are and what we've experienced. And I think I find this where they do this to women a lot. Oh, she's the only woman. Oh, she's the only. And it's like, I didn't write that. You guys are going to get me in trouble. It might be partially true, but can we stop, please? I mean, I don't need a showgirl outfit. Just put it out there and see who might benefit from it. It's so yeah, interesting. I'm going to have it taken down and put up again. So yeah, it's in process. I should say I'm still in labor. It's not fully birthed yet. We're crowning.
Okay,
my gosh.
that means it's soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so my the grieving and the neck exercise.
When she said neck, I immediately said yes. I have a lot of issues with my neck.
Yeah.
From
oh, wonderful. Yeah. Chronic positioning.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Many years of doing that repeatedly. And I still do.
I have to constantly work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, this has been such a great, I mean, we could go for 2 hours, but I had to feed my wife. and I just literally came back from the gym from teaching. And but we have to do this again.
Yeah. We
have to do this again because there's another video that I uploaded and it's where she's teaching. And that will, I have to cut it. But it's such a wonderful experience that we share with you, that you share with us and with the people that are watching.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for agreeing to come on. My wife, she's busy, but we have to do this today. We had to. It was a must.
Crystal, good luck to you. You don't need it. Just keep doing your thing.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Appreciate it.
You too, Pedro.
You're just not an actress.
She's like, oh yeah, you too, Pedro. Daryl's got a great show. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us on Tweed Talks. We will be in touch. Send us the link to your book when it's live again.
Okay, I will.
And we'll promote it here.
Yes, and we would love to have you back on in the near future, maybe after that movie sometime in LA.
Wait a minute.
That'd be great.
Are you there now or you're in Hawaii?
No, I'm here now. Yeah, in Southern California. Yeah, I got back last week from Oahu, so yeah, I have to go back later this month. So yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for coming on.
Hey, mahalo. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, aloha. Aloha, Jane. Sensei.
Thank you, Michelle. Have a great night. We'll see you soon.
You too. Okay, aloha.
Aloha. That was awesome.
Mm-hmm. I told you, it's the scenery. It's right
the
behind
scenery, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the knowledge as well. I had that feeling, and I'm glad that she agreed to come on.
I'm excited to get that book. I want to know what exercises for the neck.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, people, thank you for joining us today. We're going to have another young lady next week.
She is Jane.
And another one with Jane's friend.
Is Jane our talent booker now?
No, but Jane didn't know she was coming.
Oh, okay.
but I
mean,
saw
she kind of is.
I saw
Thrice removed.
I saw a video where
Whoever knows Jane, whatever woman knows Jane, powerful woman knows Jane, is going to eventually be on Tweed Talks.
Well, I asked Restita, okay, but I couldn't upload a video, so I probably will be next week or the following week.
She can.
Oh yeah. Well, tell Rosita that I haven't sent a message yet, but if either next week, next Monday, or the following Monday. I think most likely next Monday. She's another awesome lady.
Yes.
Okay. All right. With that, we're going to say love, peace, and harmony. Bye bye. We'll see you next week.
Have a good night.